Become the house. The Implementation Vault. How Chiropractic Clinics Build Real Patient Acquisition Systems by Alex. Spine Empire. Book 1 showed you the game. This book shows you how to play it at the highest level. The house. Blueprint. Read this before anything else. Read it again at the end. For people listening to the audiobook, this next section is a table. The table has 4 columns: layer, what it does, key tools, and North Star metric. Row 1, layer, attention, what it does. Creates controlled patient flow from the right people with the right problem. Key tools, meta ads, seminar hooks, local partnerships, educational content. North Star metric, cost per qualified registration. Row 2, layer, education, what it does. Turns attention into belief before price is mentioned. Key tools, 45-minute seminar structure, belief shift sequence, pain pattern teaching, North Star metric, seminar show rate. Row 3, layer, conversion, what it does. Turns belief into committed cash the same night. Key tools, 2-path close, value stack, risk reversal, real scarcity, North Star metric, close rate and cash collected. Row 4, layer, follow-up and operations. What it does, protects every lead you paid for, from registration through graduation. Key tools, speed to lead, follow-up sequences, front desk scripts, onboarding system, North Star metric, show rate and no-show recovery rate. Row 5, layer, multiplication. What it does, turns happy patients into proof that creates more patients. Key tools, referral moments, review requests, share assets, testimonial system, North Star metric, referrals and reviews per month. End of table. The leak is always in one of those 5 layers. Not somewhere, not the market, not bad leads, a specific layer. Find it, fix it. That is the house. Introduction. The clinics winning right now are not better doctors. There is a reason casinos never lose sleep over one bad night. It is not luck. It is not a better location. It is not cheaper cocktails. It is the system. The house has already calculated the odds. The house knows that across thousands of hands, thousands of spins, thousands of patients, the numbers work. Every variable is already accounted for. So when one night goes sideways, the house does not panic. It just opens tomorrow. Most chiropractic clinics operate like gamblers, not because they lack intelligence or dedication, because nobody ever showed them the other way, so they run survival systems instead of acquisition systems. They hope referrals continue, they boost random Facebook posts, they depend on insurance reimbursements nobody fully controls, they confuse being busy with being profitable, and the leaks stay invisible until they are not. The difference is not clinical skill. The clinics winning right now understand something most operators never learn. Patient acquisition is a machine, not an event. Attention, trust, conversion, follow-up, multiplication. These are not accidents. These are engineered outcomes. Become the house. Book 1 digs deeper into the philosophy behind that shift. Why most clinics get trapped, and what the mental model looks like when you flip from gambler to operator. If you want that foundation, it is available on Amazon. But this book does not require it. Everything you need to build the machine is here. The architecture, the scripts, the psychology, the positioning, the operational systems behind modern patient acquisition. The first book gives you the mindset. This book gives you the mechanics. Hope is not a marketing strategy. Most clinics are not running marketing systems. They are running survival systems. Just enough referrals, just enough insurance, just enough repeat patients, just enough momentum to stay alive. That works until it doesn't. The real problem is that most clinic owners cannot clearly explain where patients actually come from, why patients convert, why months fluctuate, where revenue leaks happen, or which systems create growth. They just know things feel slower lately. That is not operational control. That is reacting to randomness. The clinics quietly winning right now think differently. They do not try marketing. They engineer patient acquisition systems. Because once growth becomes measurable, it stops feeling emotional and starts becoming predictable. The house always wins. Casinos do not panic after one bad night, because they understand something gamblers never do. The system wins over time. Not every patient buys, not every lead shows up, not every campaign works immediately. That is normal. The problem is, most clinics never built a machine strong enough to survive variation. The house does. The house knows how to generate attention, convert trust, recover dead leads, create urgency, increase compliance, and turn patients into future acquisition assets. That creates stability, and stability changes everything. Now the clinic owner stops waking up stressed about slow weeks, empty schedules, random referrals, seasonal drops, and inconsistent cash flow. Instead, they operate with certainty. Predictable patients, predictable cash collection, predictable growth. That is the dream, not more hustle. Control. How this book is structured, the leak in your clinic is in one of those 5 layers. Chapter 4 explains exactly how to identify which one. For people listening to the audiobook, this next section is another table. The table has 3 columns: layer, what it does, and covered in. Row 1, layer, attention. What it does creates controlled patient flow from the right people. Covered in, sections 1 through 2. Row 2, layer, education. What it does turns attention into belief before price is mentioned. Covered in, section 2. Row 3, layer, conversion. What it does turns belief into committed cash the same night. Covered in, section 3. Row 4, layer, follow up and operations. What it does protects every lead you paid for. Covered in, section 4. Row 5, layer, multiplication. What it does turns patients into proof that creates more patients. Covered in, section 5. End of table. Note for audiobook listeners: the case studies throughout this book are drawn from real clinic operator experiences inside the Spine Empire network. Details have been anonymized, results vary based on market, team, and execution quality. Section 1. The Foundations: Why Most Clinics Fail at Patient Acquisition. Chapter 1. Drug dealers understand distribution better than most clinics. You have the better product, you help people heal, you reduce pain, you improve lives, and yet most people in your city have no idea you exist. Meanwhile, people selling garbage understand something most clinics still ignore: visibility wins. Drug dealers understand repetition, word of mouth, emotional pain, community influence, and distribution. Most clinics still believe, if I'm good enough, people will eventually find me. No. The market does not reward hidden excellence. It rewards visible certainty. The best chiropractor in town with no distribution loses to the average chiropractor with a better acquisition system every single time. That is uncomfortable. But it is true. Because modern patient acquisition is no longer about being the best doctor, it is about becoming the most trusted and most remembered option before the patient ever needs you. The clinics dominating right now understand this. They do not wait for referrals, they engineer attention. Key takeaways. Chapter 1. The market does not reward hidden excellence, it rewards visible certainty. The best clinic with no distribution loses to an average clinic with a better acquisition system. Modern patient acquisition is about becoming the most trusted and remembered option before the patient ever needs you. Waiting for referrals is not a strategy, engineering attention is. Chapter 2. Why free consult funnels are dying. The old model was simple: run an ad, offer a free consultation, hope people book, hope they show up, hope they buy. Too many clinics are still trapped there. The problem is the market changed. Patients are more skeptical, ads are more expensive, attention is lower, trust is weaker, and free consultation no longer feels valuable. It feels generic. Every chiropractor says it, every agency runs it, every clinic sounds identical. So now clinics compete on discounts, price, gimmicks, and urgency tricks. That race ends badly because free consult funnels attract low commitment prospects. People who ghost appointments, price shop, hesitate, delay decisions, and consume staff time without buying. The clinics winning right now flipped the model completely. Instead of selling consultations, they sell understanding first, education before offer, authority before price, trust before commitment. That changes everything, because when someone spends 45 minutes learning from you, they stop seeing you as another chiropractor. Now you are the expert who explained their problem better than anyone else ever has. That is why educational funnels outperform traditional free consult funnels now. They do not chase attention, they earn trust first. Key takeaways. Chapter 2. Free consultation funnels attract low commitment prospects who ghost and price shop. Free consultation feels generic because every clinic in town says the same thing. The winning model: education before offer, authority before price, trust before commitment. When someone spends 45 minutes learning from you, you stop being another chiropractor. Chapter 3. The Psychology of Educational Marketing. Nobody likes being sold, especially chiropractors. You know this already because every week some 22-year-old agency owner with a rented Lamborghini profile picture messages you saying, "Hey doc, noticed your page, quick question." And suddenly you want to fake your own death. Patients feel the exact same way. That is why educational marketing works, because education lowers resistance. One clinic owner told me something hilarious after switching from free consultation ads to educational seminars. He said, "For the first time in my life, patients walked into the clinic acting like they were trying to convince me." That is the shift. Before, patients arrive skeptical. "How much is this? Do you take insurance? I need to think about it." After education, completely different energy. Now they say, "This finally makes sense. Nobody explained it like this before. How fast can we start?" Because clarity creates momentum. When patients finally understand why their pain keeps returning, why their posture matters, why stretching never fixed the issue, the brain naturally moves toward action. Not because you pressured them, because confusion disappeared. And confused people delay decisions. Clear people move. That is why the best marketing does not feel like marketing. It feels like someone finally turning the lights on. Key takeaways. Chapter 3. Education lowers resistance. Patients arrive as believers, not skeptics. The shift from how much is this to how fast can we start? That is what education does. Confused people delay decisions. Clear people move. The best marketing does not feel like marketing. It feels like the lights being turned on. Chapter 4. The Casino. Architecture. Casino does not win because one table is profitable. It wins because the entire building is engineered. The lighting, the sounds, the floor layout, the games, the staff, the rewards, the offers, the exits, the oxygen, the psychology. Nothing is random. That is the point. Most clinics are the opposite. They have random ads, random follow up, random scripts, random offers, random patient education, random reactivation attempts, random referral requests, and random staff execution. Then they wonder why growth feels random. Random inputs create random outcomes. The house is not built on random, the house is built on architecture. The 5 layer patient acquisition machine. Real patient acquisition has 5 layers. Miss one and the system leaks. Layer 1, attention. This is where the patient first notices you. Ads, content, referrals, local partnerships, workshops, educational videos, community visibility. The goal is not to get your name out there. That is vague garbage. The goal is to create controlled attention from the right people with the right problem. Layer 2. Education. Attention alone is not enough. A patient can notice you and still not trust you. Education turns attention into belief. This is where you explain why the problem keeps coming back, why common solutions fail, why waiting costs them, why your process makes sense, and why action now is logical. This is where seminars become powerful. The seminar is not just an event, it is a belief building environment. Layer 3. Conversion. This is where belief turns into cash, not interest. Cash. Most clinics stop at interest. The house collects commitment. Big difference. Layer 4. Fulfillment. This is where the patient experiences the promise. If the patient buys and the onboarding is messy, trust drops. If visits are not scheduled properly, momentum drops. If expectations are unclear, compliance drops. If progress is not tracked, the next offer becomes harder. Fulfillment is not just care delivery. Fulfillment is continuation preparation. Layer 5. Multiplication. This is where the patient becomes more than revenue. They become a testimonial opportunity, a referral source, a review, a case story, a workshop invite source, a future back-end buyer, a community signal. Most clinics stop when the patient pays. Operators know the real machine starts after the first payment. The leak map. For people listening to the audiobook, this next section is a table. The table has 2 columns, symptom and broken layer. Row 1, symptom, nobody knows you exist. Broken layer, attention. Row 2, symptom, people click but do not trust. Broken layer, education. Row 3, symptom, people attend but do not buy. Broken layer, conversion. Row 4, symptom, people buy but do not complete. Broken layer, fulfillment. Row 5, symptom, happy patients do not review or refer. Broken layer, multiplication. End of table. That is how operators diagnose. No emotion, no guessing, no blaming Facebook. Find the layer, fix the leak. Key takeaways. Chapter 4. Architecture, not luck, is what separates the house from the gambling clinic. The 5 layers are attention, education, conversion, fulfillment, multiplication. Every acquisition failure maps to one specific broken layer. Random inputs create random outcomes. Eliminate randomness with structure. Section 2. The seminar machine. Hooks, structure, and the room that converts. Chapter 5. Pattern interrupts. Most chiropractic ads fail before the patient even reads the first sentence. Why? Because they look like chiropractic ads. Stock spine graphics, blue backgrounds, doctors pointing at clipboards, now accepting new patients. The brain ignores them instantly. Elite clinics understand something different. Attention is won before trust is earned. That means your first job is not selling. Your first job is interruption. You need to stop the scroll, not with louder ads, with unexpected angles. For example, what if your back pain isn't actually a back problem? Or stretching might be making your sciatica worse? Or most desk workers are slowly destroying their spine without realizing it. These work because they create tension, curiosity, unfinished thoughts. The patient suddenly feels, I need to know more. That is the goal, not hype, not manipulation, psychological interruption. The clinics winning right now do not sound like advertisers, they sound like experts revealing something important, and that difference changes everything. The authority shift. Most chiropractors position themselves like commodities. Family chiropractic, pain relief center, new patient special, generic, forgettable, interchangeable. Patients do not remember generic, they remember specialists. The moment you become associated with a specific problem, your perceived value changes instantly. Now you are not a chiropractor. You are the posture correction clinic, the sciatica specialist, the back pain workshop doctor, the spine restoration expert. That shift matters more than most clinic owners realize, because patients do not buy chiropractic care, they buy certainty. And certainty comes from specialization. Authority is not built by saying, we care about our patients. Every clinic says that. Authority is built when the patient thinks, these people understand my exact problem better than anyone else. That is the shift, from invisible chiropractor to category authority. The 7 highest converting seminar hooks. A seminar hook has one job: make the right patient think, that sounds like me. Not everyone, the right person. The hook formula: specific audience, pain pattern, hidden mechanism, educational promise. For people listening to the audiobook, this next section is a table. The table has 3 columns: hook, copy, and why it works. Row 1: hook, desk worker, copy. The 3 desk habits quietly putting pressure on your spine, and what to understand before stiffness becomes your new normal. Why it works speaks to a daily pattern, not a vague condition. Row 2: hook, morning pain, copy. Why some adults wake up with back stiffness even after sleeping 8 hours, and the patterns most people miss. Why it works. Morning pain is emotionally specific. Specific beats generic. Row 3: hook, stretching, copy. Stretching helps, but if the same discomfort keeps returning, there may be something else worth understanding. Why it works. Doesn't attack what they believe. Adds a missing piece. Row 4: hook, sciatica, copy. The 3 common reasons sciatica symptoms keep returning, and why temporary relief often doesn't solve the full problem. Why it works. Sciatica is urgent. This audience is already emotionally activated. Row 5: hook, aging, copy. A lot of adults assume stiffness is just part of getting older, but what if some of it comes from patterns you can actually change? Why it works. Challenges resignation. Nobody wants to accept decline. Row 6: hook, sleep, copy. The sleeping positions that may be making back discomfort worse, and what most people misunderstand about waking up stiff. Why it works. Connects to a daily habit. Fixable problems get attention. Row 7: hook, local authority, copy. Free local workshop. The 3 reasons back pain keeps returning for busy adults in city. Why it works. Local specificity increases trust. Feels like community, not internet ads. End of table. Naming movements instead of services. Most clinics name offers like brochures. Free consultation. New patient special. Spinal screening. Initial assessment. Dead on arrival. Those names sound clinical, generic, and identical to every other clinic in town. Generic names create generic desire. The house does not name services, the house names movements, because patients do not want to book a consultation, they want to join something that feels like progress, a transformation, a clear path, the movement naming formula, time frame, desired outcome, identity word. Example: 28-day spine reset challenge. Time frame: 28 days. Outcome: spine reset. Identity word: challenge. That feels active. Compare it to free consultation. There is no outcome, no timeline, no movement, no energy. It just sounds like a calendar event. More examples: the 4-week posture power program, the 28-day back pain elimination challenge, the 4-week spine strength transformation. Add local specificity for ownership, the Dallas spine reset challenge, the Scottsdale posture recovery program. The rule: never name the offer based on what you do, name it based on what the patient wants. Patients do not buy your service label, they buy the future the label implies. Make the name carry the future. Building seminar gravity. Most chiropractors promote seminars like they are announcing a fire drill. Dry title, generic flyer, boring explanation. Then they wonder why nobody shows up. Here's the reality: nobody wakes up excited to attend a spinal health workshop. People attend because they believe this finally explains their problem, this might actually help them, and missing this would be stupid. One clinic owner told me patients were literally taking pictures of the slides during the seminar because they wanted to send them to their husbands and coworkers. That is gravity, when the information feels valuable enough to share. Another clinic used the 3 sleeping positions making your back pain worse. Attendance jumped. Not because the seminar changed, the framing changed. People do not buy seminars, they buy relevance. And the more specific the problem feels, the more powerful your seminar becomes. Nobody wants generic health advice. They want why your sciatica keeps returning even after stretching. That creates emotional pull instantly. And once people feel this doctor understands exactly what I'm dealing with, showing up no longer feels like a chore. It feels necessary. Key takeaways. Chapter 5. Your first job in any ad is interruption. Stop the scroll before earning trust. Authority is built when patients think, these people understand my exact problem better than anyone else. Name offers after transformations, not treatments. The name carries the future. Seminar gravity comes from specificity. The more specific the problem, the stronger the pull. Chapter 6. Education before offer. I'll be honest with you, the first time I saw this model, I thought it was insane. You're telling me people will sit in a room for 45 minutes, listen to a seminar, and then buy that night. No consultation first? No, let me think about it? No chasing them for 3 weeks? Honestly, I thought there was no way this would work consistently, because most chiropractors are conditioned to believe patients need multiple appointments, long explanations, consultations, nurturing, follow up, and reassurance before buying anything substantial. Then I watched something happen that completely changed how I viewed patient psychology. A clinic owner finished the seminar. Nothing fancy, no hype, no aggressive sales tactics, no weird motivational speaker energy, just education. At the end, one patient literally interrupted him mid close and said, okay, I get it. How do I start? That moment changed everything for me because I realized something. Patients do not need more convincing, they need more certainty, and certainty is created through education. When someone finally understands what is causing the problem, why previous solutions failed, what happens if they ignore it, and how your process works, the sale becomes natural, not forced. Most clinics try to present the offer before the patient emotionally understands the problem. That creates resistance. The house flips it. Education first, trust second, offer third, and when you do it correctly, the close stops feeling like a close. It feels like the obvious next step. The seminar architecture. For people listening to the audiobook, this next section is a table. The table has 3 columns: phase, duration, and purpose. Row 1, phase, opening and credibility. Duration, 5 minutes. Purpose, establish authority, set expectations. Row 2, phase, the problem, why it keeps coming back. Duration, 15 minutes. Purpose, create understanding and urgency. Row 3, phase, the failure, why previous solutions didn't work. Duration, 10 minutes. Purpose, remove competing alternatives. Row 4, phase, the solution, why your approach is different. Duration, 15 minutes. Purpose, build belief in the process. Row 5, phase, the offer, the bridge to the next step. Duration, 10 minutes. Purpose, create a clear decision moment. Row 6, phase, Q&A and payment collection. Duration, 15 minutes. Purpose, handle objections, collect payment the same night. End of table. That order matters. You do not walk into the room and sell. You build belief for 45 minutes first. By the time the offer arrives, the patient is not hearing it cold. They have been mentally preparing for it. The offer does not feel random. It feels like relief. Why group education beats one-on-one selling? In a one-on-one consult, the patient is alone. They feel guarded. They feel like they are being sold. The easiest response is, let me think about it. In a seminar, the psychology shifts. They look around and realize, I am not the only person dealing with this. That matters. Isolation creates doubt. Community creates permission. When someone sits in a room with 20 other people who also have back pain, sciatica, or posture problems, their brain normalizes action. They stop wondering if they should be there and start wondering what they should do next. 3 things happen in the seminar room that cannot happen in a private consult. First, social proof without testimonials. They see that other credible adults like them are taking this seriously. Second, education at scale. You teach once, everyone receives it. You stop repeating yourself, patient by patient, and become an authority educating a market. Third, momentum from the room. People nod. People take notes. People ask questions. That energy builds commitment before you ever present the offer. The seminar is not an event. It is a belief-building environment. Key takeaways. Chapter 6. Patients do not need more convincing. They need more certainty. Education creates certainty. The sequence matters. Education, then trust, then offer, in that exact order. Group education creates social proof, authority, and momentum simultaneously. When done correctly, the close stops feeling like a close. It feels like the obvious next step. Section 3. The conversion system, value stacking, scripts, and getting paid tonight. Chapter 7. The two-path close. Let me give you one of the highest converting tactics we teach inside Spine Empire. I call it the corridor close, and it works like magic, not because it manipulates people, because it removes psychological friction. Most chiropractors accidentally create resistance by ending their consultation or seminar with, "So, would you like to move forward?" Terrible question. Why? Because now the patient's brain defaults to defense mode. Yes or no? Risk or safety? Spend money or avoid pain? That creates hesitation instantly. The corridor close changes the psychology completely. Instead of asking, "Do you want this?" you present two paths. You have two options. You can start with the 28-day back pain elimination challenge to get quick momentum and see how your body responds. Or, if you already know this has been affecting your life for years, you can start directly with the complete spine transformation program. See what happened? You created a corridor. The patient is already mentally moving forward. Now they are simply choosing between a small commitment or a bigger commitment. Not, should I trust this? That decision already happened during the education phase. This is why education before offer matters so much. When to use. Immediately after the value stack, at the decision moment in the seminar. Why it works. Removes the yes or no binary. Both paths move forward. The patient chooses direction, not whether to act. This eliminates, "let me think about it," as the default response. Common mistakes. Giving more than two paths. Confused people do not buy. Making one path sound clearly better. Both should feel valid for different situations, asking for a decision before painting both paths clearly. Key takeaways. Chapter 7. The corridor close removes the yes or no binary and replaces it with a direction choice. Both paths move forward. The patient chooses which path, not whether to act. The education phase is where trust is decided. The close is only where direction is chosen. Never ask, "Would you like to move forward?" Present two clear options instead. Chapter 8. The $399 bridge offer. The $399 challenge is not the business, it is the bridge. Here is the formula: low risk entry plus fast momentum plus clear next step equals back end conversion. Most clinics try to jump straight into the full care plan. That creates resistance. Because the patient is thinking, "I barely know you, I barely understand this, and now you want me to commit thousands of dollars?" Fair. So instead of forcing the big decision too early, you create a smaller first step: a bridge. The bridge offer does three things. 1. It reduces risk. A $399 challenge feels easier than a $5,000 care plan. The patient thinks, "I can try this without betting the whole farm." That matters, because people do not move when they feel trapped. They move when the next step feels safe. 2. It creates proof. The patient starts care, they feel progress, they experience the clinic, they build trust with the team. Now the bigger plan is no longer theoretical, it is connected to a real experience. 3. It sets up the bigger path. The challenge should never feel random. It should feel like the first stage of a larger transformation. That is the mistake most clinics make. They sell a cheap offer, then later try to upsell. Bad positioning. Inside Spine Empire, we structure the $399 offer as a bridge offer, not a discount, not a coupon, not a desperate new patient special. A bridge. The formula: specific pain plus short timeline plus low risk entry plus clear continuation path equals bridge offer. Example: back pain plus 28 days plus $399 challenge plus credit toward long term care equals a clean bridge into the full program. Now let me give you scripts from the system. We sell these inside Spine Empire. You get these three free. Script 1. The bridge offer close. When to use. When the patient selects the challenge path after the corridor close. Why it works. Creates contrast. Doing nothing versus either path. Then makes the challenge feel like the smart, structured starting point rather than a discount. Common mistakes: moving on after yes without immediately collecting payment and scheduling first visit. The commitment must be locked before they leave the room. You have two paths tonight. If you want to start small, build momentum, and see how your body responds, the 28-day back pain elimination challenge is $399. This gives you the structure, visits, support, and guidance to start moving in the right direction. If you already know this problem has been affecting your life for too long and you want the complete correction pathway, then the Complete Spine Transformation Program is the better fit. Either way, the worst decision is doing nothing and letting this keep getting worse. Use this when the patient needs contrast. Not pressure, contrast. Script 2. The deposit credit script. When to use: at graduation, when transitioning a challenge patient to a full care plan. Why it works: the $399 becomes a step in the journey, not a sunk cost. Financial continuity between the challenge and the backend reduces the psychological barrier of a second purchase. Common mistakes: framing this as a discount. It is credit applied, not a price reduction. The distinction matters. Your $399 does not disappear. If during the challenge we both agree that continuing care makes sense, we can apply your challenge investment toward your longer term plan. So you are not paying to try something, you are starting the process properly. This works because it changes the $399 from an expense into a step. People hate wasting money, but they like progressing towards something. Script 3: the challenge. Framing script. When to use: when a prospect wants to try before committing to a full plan, or when price is the stated objection to the larger program. Why it works: reframes the challenge from a discounted service into a clinical diagnostic tool. The patient is not buying a cheaper option, they are making a smarter first decision. Common mistakes: using this script apologetically, as if the challenge is a consolation prize. Deliver it with full confidence. The challenge is a genuine clinical tool. This challenge is not designed to fix everything forever in 28 days. It is designed to give us a clear window into how your body responds when care is consistent, structured, and properly tracked. Some people only need the challenge. Some people realize they need a deeper correction plan. Either way, by the end, we will know far more than we know today. This protects you. It prevents overpromising. It makes the backend plan feel logical. And it positions the challenge correctly, not as the final destination, as the bridge. That is how the house thinks. The gambler tries to sell the whole thing too early. The operator engineers the first yes, then uses that yes to create the next one. Key takeaways. Chapter 8. The $399 bridge offer reduces risk, creates proof, and sets up the backend. In that sequence, never position the challenge as a discount or cheap option. It is the diagnostic bridge. The deposit credit makes the backend feel financially continuous, not like a second separate purchase. Collect payment and schedule first visit before the patient leaves the room, every time. Chapter 9. Value stacking. This is the most important part of your entire presentation. Not the ad, not the room, not the slides, not even the offer name, the value stack, because this is the moment where the patient's brain decides, that sounds expensive, or I would be stupid not to take this. That is the whole game. Most clinics destroy the sale here because they rush. They explain the problem well, they educate well, they build trust, then they get nervous at the exact moment money enters the conversation. So they say, the 28-day challenge is $399. And that is it. Terrible. Now the number lands by itself. And when price lands by itself, the patient compares it to their bank account. You do not want that. You want the patient comparing the price to the value. That is what value stacking does. It changes the question in the patient's mind from, can I afford $399? To, how am I getting all of this for $399? Huge difference. The formula: reveal plus explain plus assign value plus pause plus next item, then at the end, total value plus remove higher prices plus reveal tonight price. You reveal one component at a time. You explain why it matters. You attach a dollar value to it. You pause, then you move to the next one. You are not dumping bonuses. You are building desire piece by piece, like showing someone a house. You do not open the front door and scream, it's $399. You walk them through, first the kitchen, then the living room, then the master bedroom, then the view, then the garage, then the neighborhood. By the time you finally talk price, they already want it. Same principle here. You are walking the patient through the offer so they understand what they are actually getting. Because if you do not assign value to each part, the patient will assign the value for you, and they will usually assign it too low. That is not their fault. That is your fault for presenting badly. The value stack script. When to use: during the offer section of the seminar, after the full 45 minutes of education. Never before belief is built. Why it works: price anchoring. The patient needs a reference point before they hear the number. You build to $1,693 first, reveal $399 last. The brain does not compare $399 to a car payment. It compares $399 to $1,693. That gap creates desire. The bigger the believable gap, the easier the decision. Common mistakes: rushing through the stack to get to the price. The stack is the price justification, not the preamble to it. Inventing fake valuations. Nobody believes a PDF is worth $2,000. Use real numbers for real things, speeding up when the room goes quiet. That is exactly when you slow down and let each item land, saying, "You also get a few bonuses. Every item deserves its own moment, not a footnote." Deliver this slowly, one item at a time. Here is exactly how it sounds. First, you get the complete 28-day back pain elimination challenge. This is the core program where we start working on the problem properly instead of guessing. That alone is valued at $499. Pause. Let it land. Then continue. Second, you get your custom posture analysis. This helps us identify what is actually happening with your body, your posture, and your movement patterns. That is normally $249. Pause. Third, you get your personal exercise video library. So when you leave the clinic, you are not confused about what to do at home. You have clear guidance. That is valued at $199. Pause. Fourth, you get the ergonomic workspace checklist, because if your desk is damaging your spine 8 hours a day, treatment alone is fighting uphill. That is valued at $149. Pause. Fifth, you get the anti-inflammatory nutrition guide. Simple food guidance to support the work we are doing. Nothing complicated, nothing extreme. That is valued at $149. Pause. Sixth, you get priority booking status. This means you are not treated like a random walk-in. You are inside the program, and we make sure your appointments are protected. That is valued at $299. Pause. And finally, you get your progress tracking sheet, so we can actually track what is changing instead of relying on vague feelings. That is valued at $149. Now stop. Do not rush into the price. This is where amateurs panic. Let the patient feel the weight of the stack, then summarize. So when you put everything together, the total value of everything you are getting is $1,693. Pause. That number matters. Let it sit there. Then contrast. But you are not getting this for $1,693. You are not even getting it for $1,499. And I am definitely not giving it to you for half price. Pause again. Then drop the actual offer. Tonight, and only tonight, because you are here in this room and because this group starts together, your full investment is just $399. The price lands after the value, not before, never before. Why this works? The patient does not buy based on price. They buy based on perceived value compared to price. If they think the offer is worth $399 and you charge $399, there is no excitement. That is just fair. Fair does not create urgency. If they think the offer is worth $1,693 and you charge $399, now the brain sees a gap. That gap creates desire. The bigger the believable gap, the easier the decision. Believable is the key word. Do not invent stupid fake values. Do not say your PDF is worth $2,000. Nobody believes that. But a posture analysis, an exercise library, priority booking, progress tracking, structured 28-day program, those can be valued. And when you stack them properly, the offer becomes much heavier than the price. That is what you want. The mistake most clinics make. Most clinics say, the challenge is $399 and you also get a few bonuses. Wrong order. The correct order is, here's everything you get. And tonight, it is $399. That difference can change your close rate, because the first version makes $399 feel like the main thing. The second version makes $399 feel like the access price to a much larger package. You are not trying to sound clever. You are trying to control perception. Never present price naked. Price needs context. Price needs contrast. Price needs value around it. A naked price gets judged. A stacked price gets compared. And comparison is where the offer wins. Key takeaways. Chapter 9. The value stack is the most important moment in the presentation. Everything else sets it up. When price lands alone, patients compare it to their bank account. The stack makes them compare it to $1,693. The formula: reveal plus, explain plus, value, plus pause plus, next item, then total plus strip, higher prices plus reveal tonight price. The pause after each item is not silence. It is value landing. Never fill it. Use believable valuations only. One fake number destroys the credibility built across the entire evening. Chapter 10. Risk Reversal. This is where most chiropractors get scared. And honestly, they should. Because guarantees in healthcare are not the same as guarantees in e-commerce. You cannot casually say, "We guarantee you will be pain-free or your money back." That is how you create legal headaches. That is how you invite compliance problems. That is how you make state boards, ad platforms, and angry patients pay attention to you for the wrong reasons. Inside Spine Empire, we give you the guarantee structures, wording, enrollment terms, and positioning for this, but I want to give you the thinking here for free because you trusted me enough to read this far, so I am not going to hide the most important safety principle from you and let you walk into a legal wall. This is my way of thanking you. The rule: you do not guarantee a clinical outcome, you guarantee the quality of the process. Bad. We guarantee your back pain will be gone. Better. We are so confident in the quality of our care process that if you complete the program as designed and are not satisfied with the care, attention, and service you receive, we will refund your enrollment fee according to the terms of the program. One promises a medical result. The other promises a professional standard of care and service experience. That matters. The Spine Empire risk reversal formula, participation requirement, plus service standard, plus clear refund window, plus written terms, equals clean risk reversal. 1. Participation requirement. Do not give refunds to people who disappear. The patient must complete the program as designed. To qualify, you must attend your scheduled visits, follow the plan as instructed, and complete the program requirements. That protects you from people who buy, vanish, then ask for money back. 2. Service standard. Tie the guarantee to care quality, attention, communication, and program delivery, not pain elimination. If you are not satisfied with the quality of care, attention, and service you receive, clean, professional, much safer. 3. Clear refund window. Do not leave the refund window open forever. Refund requests must be submitted within 7 days of completing the program. Now there is a clear boundary. No confusion, no open-ended mess. 4. Written terms. Put it in writing, always. Verbal guarantees are where chaos starts. Your enrollment agreement should clearly explain what qualifies, what does not qualify, when the request must be made, what the patient must complete, and how the refund is reviewed. This is not about being difficult, this is about being clean. The risk reversal script, when to use, during the offer section, right before the close, after the value stack is complete. Why it works: it shifts the burden of risk from the patient to the clinic. The patient stops asking, "What if this doesn't work?" and starts asking, "What do I need to do to qualify for the guarantee?" That is a forward-moving question. Common mistakes: saying this before the value stack. Risk reversal only lands when the patient already sees the value. Using vague language. Be specific about participation requirements and timelines. Making this sound like legal fine print. Deliver it confidently as a statement of standard. Script. When you join the 28-day challenge, we are not just asking you to trust us blindly. We are going to show up for you with structure, care, attention, and a clear process. And if you complete the program as designed, attend your scheduled visits, follow the plan, and you are not satisfied with the quality of care and service you received, you can request a refund within 7 days of completion according to the terms of the program. That is risk reversal. Not reckless promises, not wild claims, not pain-free guaranteed, clean confidence. The patient feels safer, you stay protected, and the offer becomes easier to accept. Because at the end of the day, risk reversal is not about giving money back. It is about removing fear before fear kills the sale. Key takeaways. Chapter 10. Guarantee the process, never the clinical outcome. One is safe, one is a legal and compliance risk. The 4 components are participation requirement, service standard, clear refund window, written terms. Risk reversal is not about refunds. It is about removing fear before fear kills the sale. Always put it in writing. Verbal guarantees are where chaos starts. Chapter 11. Scarcity that doesn't feel fake. I used to hate scarcity, not dislike it, hate it. Because every marketer on earth ruined it. Every landing page says, only 3 spots left. Then you refresh the page next week. Still 3 spots left. Every webinar says, doors closed tonight. Then tomorrow they send, we extended it. Every agency says, we only work with 1 clinic per area. Then somehow their client map looks like they opened a McDonald's franchise. I got burned by that stuff. I believed fake urgency. I bought because I thought I was about to miss out. Then I realized the scarcity was manufactured. And once you see that, you never forget it. You feel stupid. You feel manipulated. And you stop trusting the person selling. That is why fake scarcity is dangerous. Not because it stops working immediately, because it burns trust permanently. So I got fed up. I studied why scarcity works. And the answer is simple. Scarcity only works long-term when the limitation is real, not theatrical. Real. Inside your clinic, real scarcity already exists. You do not need to invent it. You have limited doctor time, limited treatment capacity, limited appointment slots, limited staff bandwidth, limited onboarding ability, limited challenge start dates, and limited ability to give personal attention. That is real scarcity. Use that. Not fake countdown timers, not fake 3 spots left, nonsense. Real operational limits. The ethical scarcity formula, real capacity limit, plus clear reason, plus immediate consequence, equals ethical urgency. Example. We only take 20 people into each challenge cycle because every patient needs proper attention and tracking. Clean, believable, true. Then, tonight we have 11 spots available for this group. That works because the reason makes sense. The patient understands they are not limiting this to pressure me, they are limiting this because quality drops if they overfill it. That is ethical scarcity. Another example. This challenge starts Monday. After that, the next group starts in 6 weeks. Simple. No hype, no tricks, just consequence. If they wait, they wait. That is powerful. Scarcity should never feel like, buy now because I need money. It should feel like, this system has real limits, and if you want in, this is the available window. Fake scarcity creates pressure. Real scarcity creates respect, and respect closes better long term. When to use? During the close, after the value stack and risk reversal. Why it works? It creates a legitimate decision timeline. Without real consequence, let me think about it becomes the default. Common mistakes using fake scarcity of any kind. Patients detect it and trust collapses, creating urgency around something that has no real limit, repeating the same scarcity claim every seminar without it being genuinely true each time. Key takeaways. Chapter 11. Fake scarcity burns trust permanently. Once detected, it never recovers. Real scarcity already exists in your clinic. Limited slots, cohort sizes, program start dates. The formula is real capacity limit plus clear reason plus immediate consequence equals ethical urgency. The goal, the patient understands the limit is operational, not manufactured pressure. Chapter 12. Patient financed acquisition. Now let's talk numbers. I know. Some of you just mentally disappeared. The second numbers show up, half the room suddenly needs water. But if you want to be a serious clinic owner, you need to learn to love this part. Great entrepreneurs love the math. Everyone else gets the memo and survives in no growth la la land. Because numbers are not boring, numbers are control. And once you understand the math behind patient finance acquisition, you stop seeing marketing as an expense. You start seeing it as a machine. The old way. Most clinics think marketing looks like this. I spend money on ads, and hopefully patients show up. That is gambling. You spend $1,500. You get leads, some answer, some ghost, some book, some no-show, some buy, some disappear. Then you say, Facebook ads don't work. No, your machine did not work. Big difference. The new way. Patient financed acquisition means your front-end offer creates enough cash to fund the next round of acquisition. For audiobook listeners, this next section is a sequence. Ad spend, plus seminar registrations, plus attendance, plus $399 challenge sales, plus backend sales, then reinvest. That is the loop. The patient does not just become revenue, the patient helps fund the next patient. That is how the house thinks. The simple formula, seminar revenue minus seminar cost equals acquisition profit. Then acquisition profit funds the next seminar. That is patient financed acquisition. Example, one seminar. For audiobook listeners, this next section contains simple financial breakdowns. Spend, ads, $2,000, room and setup, $200, total cost, $2,200, 30 people attend, you close 8 people into the $399 challenge. 8 multiplied by $399 equals $3,192. Already, the front-end challenge covers the seminar cost and puts you slightly ahead. But that is not where the money is. 2 people choose the full $4,500 program. 2 multiplied by $4,500 equals $9,000. Total collected, $3,192 plus $9,000 equals $12,192. Subtract the cost, $12,192 minus $2,200 equals $9,992. That is the point. You did not just run a seminar. You created cash. You created patience. You created momentum. And now part of that profit funds the next seminar. The loop. Seminar 1 funds, Seminar 2. Seminar 2 funds, Seminar 3. Seminar 3 funds, Seminar 4. That is how acquisition stops feeling scary, because the clinic is no longer feeding the machine from fear. The machine starts feeding itself. Not random campaigns, not one good month, a repeatable cash cycle. The $399 challenge is not there to make you rich. It is there to reduce risk and finance acquisition. The back-end program is where the real profit expands, but the front-end challenge creates immediate cash. Patient commitment, trust, momentum, and future back-end conversion. That is why the model works. It turns marketing from please work into how many times can we repeat this profitably? That is the question operators ask, not can we afford ads? The better question is, can our acquisition system create enough cash to fund the next cycle? If yes, you are no longer gambling, you are building the house. Key takeaways. Chapter 12. Patient financed acquisition means the front end offer funds the next acquisition cycle. The $399 challenge is not profit. It is a risk reducer and acquisition engine. The back end program, $4,500 and above, is where margin lives. The challenge creates the trust that makes it possible. The right question is not, can we afford ads? It is, can our system fund its own next cycle? Chapter 13. The challenge. Graduation system. The $399 challenge is not the destination, it is the diagnostic bridge. From day one, the patient should understand that the challenge is a structured period of care designed to show how their body responds, and that the graduation conversation will produce a specific recommendation based on what that data shows. That is not a surprise upsell, that is a clinical progression. The difference in how the patient receives it is enormous. Setting up the graduation. On day one, the purpose of this challenge is to help us see how your body responds when care is consistent and structured. Some people get what they need from the challenge. Others realize this is the first step into a longer correction plan. By the end, we will have much better information than we have today. No promises, no pressure, just honesty. The graduation is framed as a clinical recommendation, not a sales conversation. Track progress. During the challenge, you need evidence at graduation. Track throughout the 28 days. Pain scale, from 1 to 10, at each visit. Functional improvement. Sleep, mobility, and daily activity. Attendance and compliance. Patient-reported comments and shifts. Emotional changes. Less fear, more confidence, or still uncertain. The graduation conversation must be based on what actually happened, not on what you hope the patient will agree to. Graduation. Conversation. Script. When to use, at the final visit of the 28-day challenge, or during a scheduled graduation conversation. Why it works. The recommendation is grounded in evidence, the patient's own tracked data. This removes the salesy feeling entirely. The doctor is making a clinical recommendation, not a business ask. Common mistakes: running the graduation conversation without reviewing the patient's tracked data first. The data is what makes this credible. Using the deposit credit as the primary reason to continue. It is a benefit, not the reason. Winging it. The graduation conversation requires structure, not improvisation. Script. Over the last few weeks, we have been tracking how your body responds. You came in dealing with original complaint. What we have seen since then. Specific progress point 1. Specific progress point 2. And specific progress point 3. That tells us something important. Your body can respond when care is consistent and structured. The question now is whether we stop here or whether we build on this properly. Based on what we have tracked, my recommendation is specific next plan, and here is why. The deposit credit script. One important thing, your challenge investment does not disappear. If you move into the full plan today, we apply your $399 directly toward that investment. You are not paying to try something. You are starting the process properly. That carries forward. The two-path graduation. Close. You have two options from here. Option 1. We stop after the challenge and you continue using what we have shown you on your own. Option 2. We move into full plan and we keep building on the progress while your body is already responding. Based on what we tracked, I would recommend option 2, but you know your situation best, which feels like the right next step. Graduation. Objection handling. I need to think about it. Of course. What is the main thing you need to think through? Is it the plan itself, the schedule, or the investment? It's expensive. I understand. The honest question is whether stopping here, after we have seen your body start to respond, makes more sense than continuing while that response is still active. In my clinical judgment, stopping here means we would be starting over if you came back in 3 months. I need to ask my spouse. That makes sense. Let me help you with that conversation. What do you think they will care most about? The cost, the time commitment, or whether this is actually necessary based on what we have seen? Key takeaways. Chapter 13. Frame the graduation conversation at onboarding on day 1, not on day 28. Track progress throughout the challenge so the recommendation is evidence-based, not opinion. The deposit credit creates financial continuity between the challenge and the full plan. The graduation is a clinical recommendation. The track data is what makes it credible, not the sales skill. Section 4. The follow-up and operations machine, protecting every lead you paid for. Chapter 14. The front desk conversion machine. Most clinics think their front desk answers phones. Wrong. Your front desk is your first sales department. Not in a sleazy way, in a real business way, because the first conversation after someone raises their hand determines everything that happens next. A lead can be hot when they opt in, then dead 20 minutes later. That is how fragile attention is. Inside Spine Empire, this is why we do not just give clinics ads. Ads are only the start. We give the actual operating system around the lead, speed to lead scripts, call frameworks, SMS follow up sequences, no show recovery messages, reminder logic, front desk objection handling, seminar booking flows, and post seminar follow up scripts. Because if your front desk cannot convert attention into attendance, your ads are just expensive decorations. Let me make this real. When I first got into sales, I knew almost nothing. I was not some polished closer. I did not have a magic script tattooed on my arm. I was basically running on confidence, curiosity, and YouTube University. Then I bought a sales course. And here is the funny part. I did not become a genius overnight. I just applied the basics, ask better questions, listen properly, do not vomit features, find the real pain, make the next step obvious. That was it. And suddenly, things changed. I was on a flight to Miami. I met someone. We started talking, normal conversation, nothing weird. I was not standing in the galley like some desperate real estate agent saying, "Sir, have you considered Dubai property while enjoying your chicken or beef?" That would be insane. But I listened. I asked questions. I understood what he wanted. And within 48 hours, I sold my first property in Dubai to someone I met during that flight. That experience taught me something I will never forget. Sales is not magic. Sales is controlled communication. And your front desk needs controlled communication. Because most reception teams accidentally kill deals before the doctor ever gets involved. They sound unsure, they answer instead of lead. They give too much information too early. They let people call back later. They fail to create commitment. They treat hot leads like admin tasks. That is expensive. Your front desk does not need to become aggressive. They need to become structured. There is a difference. Aggressive sounds like pressure. Structured sounds like confidence. Weak front desk. Hi, yes, we have a workshop Thursday. You can come if you want. I can send you the details. Strong front desk. Perfect. I saw your registration come through for Thursday. Before I reserve your seat, quick question. What made you sign up? That one question changes the call. Now the patient tells you their reason: pain, fear, frustration, a spouse, a bad experience, a problem they have ignored too long. Now your team is not just confirming attendance, they are building commitment. That is the machine. Because the clinic that wins is not always the clinic with the best ad, it is the clinic that handles the lead best after the ad works. The front desk is not admin. The front desk is conversion infrastructure. Confirmation call script. When to use. Within 5 minutes of every new registration, without exception. Why it works. The patient is still thinking about their pain. This call arrives while the decision to register is still fresh. It feels responsive and personal, the opposite of every other clinic they have encountered. Common mistakes: calling to confirm registration, transactional, without asking the reason question, leaving a voicemail with no follow up text immediately after, accepting "I'll call back" without capturing their reason. Script: Hey Sarah, this is Amanda from Clinic Name. I just saw your registration come through for Thursday's workshop. I wanted to personally confirm your seat. And quick question: what made you decide to sign up? Then stop talking. Let them answer. The answer is the follow up asset. Key takeaways. Chapter 14. The front desk is conversion infrastructure, not a booking service. Sales is not magic, it is controlled communication. The front desk needs structure, not personality. The single most important question is: what made you decide to sign up? Capture the reason. Use it in every follow up. The clinic that wins is the one that handles leads best after the ad works. Chapter 15. Speed to lead. The first 5 minutes after a lead registers are not administrative, they are money. Any serious business operator knows this, because interest decays fast. A person can be fully motivated when they submit the form. Then 5 minutes later, their kid cries, their phone rings, they get distracted, they open Instagram, they forget why they cared, or another clinic follows up faster. And now, your hot lead is cold. Most clinics do not lose because their offer is bad. They lose because they respond like the lead will stay interested forever. It will not. That is fantasy. Inside your clinic, speed to lead must be enforced like policy, not suggested, enforced. The rule is simple. New lead equals immediate contact attempt, not later, not end of day, not when Sarah gets a chance. Immediately. Because the patient's attention is hottest at the moment they raise their hand. That is when they are thinking about the pain. That is when they are emotionally activated. That is when they are most likely to commit. Wait too long and you are not following up anymore. You are trying to resurrect a dead lead. There is a difference. The 5-minute rule. When a lead comes in, your team has 5 minutes to call them, text them, confirm their interest, ask why they signed up, and lock the next step. But most clinics still fail here because nobody owns it. Assign ownership. One person is responsible. One backup exists. Every lead is timestamped. Every missed lead is reviewed. Every delay is visible, because what gets tolerated gets repeated. The speed to lead script. When to use. Within 5 minutes of registration. Every single time. Why it works. The patient is still in the mindset that led them to register. This call catches them while the pain is active in their thinking. It also feels remarkably personal. Most clinics never call this fast. Common mistakes. Calling from an unknown number. Patients often do not answer. Opening with, I'm calling to confirm your registration. Too transactional. The question is, what unlocks the conversation? Not following up with a text immediately if there is no answer. Script. Hey Sarah, this is Amanda from Clinic Name. I just saw your registration come through for Thursday's workshop. I wanted to personally confirm your seat. Quick question. What made you decide to sign up? That question matters. It turns a cold registration into a real conversation. Now the patient tells you, my back has been killing me. My husband told me to look into this. I've tried everything. I sit all day, and it's getting worse. Now your front desk has context, and context creates commitment. Because once someone says their reason out loud, they are more likely to follow through. Example. The restaurant reservation test. Imagine you book a table at a restaurant online. You are hungry. You are already thinking about going there. Then nobody confirms. No text, no call, no email, nothing. 30 minutes later, another restaurant calls and says, hey, we saw you were looking for dinner tonight. We have a table available at 7:30. Want me to reserve it for you? What happens? You go there. Not because their food is better, because they caught your attention while it was still alive. Your leads work the same way. When someone registers for your seminar, they are mentally raising their hand. They are saying, this problem matters enough for me to take a step. That moment is fragile. If your clinic waits until later, you are assuming their attention will still be there. It probably will not. The no answer text. When to use. Immediately after the call goes unanswered. Script. Hey Sarah, this is Amanda from Clinic Name. I saw your registration come through for Thursday's workshop. Wanted to confirm your seat and ask what made you sign up. Text me back when you can. If there is no response within 2 hours, no rush. Just wanted to make sure we reserve the right seat count. A lot of people coming are dealing with back pain from sitting, sciatica, or posture issues. Which one is closest to what you're dealing with? That text does two things. It confirms, and it reactivates pain. That is the point. Speed to lead is not just speed, it is speed plus relevance. Key takeaways. Chapter 15. The 5-minute rule is not a suggestion. It is operational policy with assigned ownership and accountability. Interest peaks at the moment of registration and decays immediately. Catch them while the pain is active. Always call and text. Voicemail alone is not follow-up. Speed plus relevance means catching them fast and connecting back to their specific reason. Chapter 16. Follow-up or financial suicide. Most clinics do not have a lead problem. They have a follow-up problem. They think they need more leads, more ads, more budget, more traffic, more attention. But when you look under the hood, the truth is ugly. Leads came in, nobody called fast enough, nobody followed up properly, nobody logged the objection, nobody sent the second text, nobody called the no-show, nobody reactivated the person who said, maybe later. Then the clinic owner says, the leads were bad. No, your follow-up was bad. That is different. And more expensive than you think. The parking lot. Promise. Here's the promise every clinic accidentally makes when someone becomes a lead. You showed up to our parking lot. We will not ignore you. That is what a lead is. Someone pulled into your digital parking lot. They saw your ad. They read the promise. They entered their name. They gave you their number. They raised their hand. And then most clinics leave them sitting there. No fast call. No proper text. No second attempt. No reminder. No real follow-up. Imagine if this happened physically. A patient drives to your clinic. They park outside. They walk up to the front door. They knock. And your team looks through the window and says, we'll get to them later. Insane. But that is exactly what happens when a lead comes in and nobody follows up properly. You would never ignore a patient standing in your parking lot. So stop ignoring leads standing in your digital parking lot. Every lead deserves the parking lot promise. If you raise your hand, we will respond fast, clearly, and professionally until the next step is complete. That means call fast, text fast, confirm the seat, ask why they registered, remind them before the event, follow up if they miss it, follow up if they attend but do not buy. Follow up until the loop is closed, not because you are chasing, because they came to you first. One attempt is not follow up. One call is not follow up. One text is not follow up. One voicemail is not follow up. That is pretending. Follow up means a structured sequence. It means the lead is contacted multiple times across multiple channels until they either book, confirm, show, buy, or clearly say no. Anything less is leakage. Inside Spine Empire, this is why we build follow up assets into the system. Not because follow up is sexy, it is not. Follow up is boring, so is brushing your teeth. Stop doing it and see what happens. The complete follow up sequence. For audiobook listeners, this next section is a sequence organized by timeline. Day 0, registration, call within 5 minutes. Send a confirmation text immediately. Ask why they registered and log the answer. Send details with time, location, and parking instructions. Day 1, send a value-based reminder referencing their stated reason. Confirm attendance again. Day 2, call any unanswered leads. Send an objection-breaking text for cold registrants. Seminar day, send a morning reminder with the time and what to expect. Send a 2-hour reminder with parking instructions and a reminder to arrive early. After the seminar, no-shows. Send a no-show recovery message the same evening or first thing the next morning. After the seminar, non-buyers. Send a thank you message with one relevant question. Follow up with a call within 24 hours. Begin a 7-day follow-up sequence. The no-show recovery script. When to use. The same evening as the missed seminar. Or first thing the following morning. Why it works. Shame creates avoidance. By removing judgment and reconnecting to the original pain, you bring them back to the moment of decision that existed when they first registered. Common mistakes. Waiting more than 24 hours. The recovery window is short. Using shame-adjacent language that makes them feel guilty for missing. Opening with anything other than empathy. Script. Hey Sarah, we missed you at the workshop tonight. No worries. Most people who register are dealing with a real issue, so I wanted to check in. Was it back pain, sciatica, posture, or something else that made you sign up? The non-buyer follow-up script. When to use. Within 24 hours of someone attending but not buying. Why it works. It does not open with, "Are you ready to buy?" Instead, it opens with a question that reconnects them to what moved them during the seminar. Script. Hey Sarah, thanks again for coming tonight. Quick question. What part of the workshop felt most relevant to what you've been dealing with? The dead lead revival script. When to use. When a lead registered, did not attend, and has gone cold for more than 5 days. Why it works. It gives them an easy binary response and creates a gentle close on the loop. Sometimes people respond just because they do not want the file closed. Script. Hey Sarah, I know life gets busy. You originally registered for the back pain workshop, so I didn't want to assume this was no longer important. Are you still looking for help with this, or should I close your file for now? Checklist. Follow-up system requirements. For audiobook listeners, this next section is a checklist. Category 1. Infrastructure. Single place where every lead is logged. Timestamp for every lead. One assigned owner per lead with a named backup. Status field. Uncontacted. In sequence. Confirmed. No-show. Bought. Closed. Category 2. Sequence. Written confirmation call script. Written no-answer text script. Written day before reminder. Written day of reminder. Written no-show recovery script. Written non-buyer follow-up script. Written dead lead revival script. Clear rule for when to close the loop. Category 3. Accountability. Daily review of uncontacted leads. Weekly review of follow-up completion rates. The owner knows the contact rate and follow-up completion every week. Key takeaways. Chapter 16. Most clinics do not have a lead problem. They have a follow-up execution problem. The parking lot promise is simple. If they raise their hand, respond fast, clearly, and professionally until the loop closes. One attempt is not follow-up. A structured multi-channel sequence is. Every open loop has a status. Mystery is where money disappears. Chapter 17. Why most clinics collapse operationally. Most clinics do not collapse because the owner is lazy. They collapse because the owner becomes the system. The doctor sells. The doctor follows up. The doctor motivates the team. The doctor fixes mistakes. The doctor checks the ads. The doctor answers questions. The doctor remembers what nobody else remembered. At some point, the clinic is no longer a business. It is a human-powered circus. And the doctor is the tired clown juggling flaming knives while pretending everything is fine. That is what happens when growth is built on memory instead of process. More patients can make your clinic worse. This is the part nobody wants to admit. Growth can break you. If your clinic has weak systems, more leads do not fix the business. They expose the business. More leads means more calls, more no-shows, more follow-up, more questions, more scheduling pressure, more staff mistakes, more dropped balls, more confused patients, more owner involvement. The clinic that wins is not always the clinic with the most leads, it is the clinic that wastes the fewest. The three red flags. Red flag 1. Sarah handles that. That means the process lives in Sarah's head. If Sarah quits, gets sick, or takes a vacation, the system breaks. Real systems do not live in people, they live in process. Red flag 2. We usually follow up. Usually is not a system. Usually means sometimes. Sometimes means leakage. Follow up must be written, assigned, tracked, and reviewed. Red flag 3. The doctor explains that. If every important explanation requires the doctor, growth stops at the doctor's capacity. The doctor should not be the only person capable of explaining the offer, onboarding expectations, or next steps. The four operational assets. For every leak, build one of four assets. Script. Use when words matter. Examples: speed to lead call, no show recovery, objection handling, graduation conversation, checklist. Use when steps matter. Examples: seminar room setup, new patient onboarding, daily lead review, payment collection, automation. Use when timing matters. Examples: instant lead notification, SMS reminders, no show follow up, review request sequence, scoreboard. Use when numbers matter. Examples: leads, contact rate, show rate, close rate, payment collected, backend conversion, the daily 10-minute operator meeting. Do this every morning, 10 minutes, same time, no speeches, just numbers. Ask, question 1, how many new leads came in yesterday? Question 2, how many were contacted within 5 minutes? Question 3, how many confirmed seminar seats? Question 4, how many are unresponsive and need follow-up today? Question 5, who no-showed and needs recovery? Question 6, who attended but did not buy? Question 7, who bought and needs onboarding? Question 8, who is currently in the challenge? Question 9, who is ready for a graduation conversation? Question 10, what is the biggest leak today? Most clinics do not die from one giant failure. They die from small daily misses that compound over time. This meeting makes those misses visible before they become crises. The hidden bottleneck audit. For audiobook listeners, this next section is a scoring framework. Score each area from 0 to 2. 0 means no system exists. 1 means inconsistent, depends on people remembering. 2 means clear system that runs without the owner. Areas being scored: lead handling, follow-up, seminar operations, sales and conversion, patient onboarding. Your score: 0 to 15, scattered effort, no system. 16 to 25, pieces exist but depend on memory. 26 to 35, structure in place with fixable leaks. 36 to 40, you are building the house. People for judgment, systems for repetition. Humans are exceptional at judgment, empathy, and nuance. Humans are unreliable at doing the same repetitive task perfectly 300 times in a row. That is not an insult. That is biology. Your follow-up leaks not because Sarah is bad at her job. It leaks because Sarah is human, gets interrupted, and assumes someone else handled it. The simple rule: use people for judgment, use systems for repetition. Tasks that belong in systems: SMS reminders, calendar confirmations, post-seminar follow-up, missed appointment messages, review requests, internal lead alerts. Tasks that belong with humans: the actual conversations, complex objection handling, sensitive patient situations, clinical decisions. Build the systems first, automate what leaks. A clinic does not become the house because it gets busier. It becomes the house when the system runs without heroics. Key takeaways. Chapter 17. The owner becoming the system is the number one operational failure pattern. The three red flags are: Sarah handles that, we usually follow up, and the doctor explains that. For every leak, build one of four assets: script, checklist, automation, or scoreboard. Use people for judgment. Use systems for repetition. Most clinics have this backwards. Chapter 18. The compliance tightrope. This chapter matters because aggressive marketing is powerful, but aggressive healthcare marketing without compliance awareness is stupid. There is a difference between being bold and being reckless. A chiropractor cannot market like a fitness influencer selling a 6-week abs challenge. You are in healthcare. That means your claims matter, your promises matter, your testimonials matter, your guarantees matter, your wording matters. And if you get lazy with words, you can create problems with state boards, meta ad review, patient expectations, refunds, testimonials, and medical claims. This is why most clinics go too far in one of two directions. Some clinics become cowards. They say nothing interesting. Their ads sound like hospital brochures written by a committee of people who hate money. We provide comprehensive musculoskeletal wellness solutions for patients seeking optimal health. Nobody clicks that. Nobody cares. The other group goes insane. They say things like, eliminate back pain forever guaranteed. Also bad. That might get attention. It might even get leads. but it also creates risk. The house does neither. The house markets aggressively without making reckless promises. That is the tightrope. The rule: do not promise outcomes you cannot ethically or legally guarantee. Promise process, promise education, promise structure, promise attention, promise a better way to understand the problem. Bad: we guarantee your sciatica will be gone in 28 days. Better: join our free workshop where we explain the 3 common reasons sciatica keeps returning and what many patients misunderstand about long term relief. The first one makes a direct outcome promise. The second creates curiosity, speaks to pain, and stays educational. Still strong, much safer. Meta does not like being attacked. Meta also does not like ads that feel too personal. This is where clinics get flagged. Bad: are you suffering from severe back pain every morning? Better: many adults wake up stiff and assume it is just aging, but there may be common posture and movement patterns worth understanding. Bad: your poor posture is destroying your spine. Better: the 3 posture habits that may quietly increase stress on your spine. Same angle, less aggressive claim, better chance of surviving review. The compliance safe hook formula, common situation, plus educational curiosity, plus soft claim, equals safer hook. Example: many desk workers think stretching is enough. In this free workshop, we explain why back discomfort often needs a more complete approach. That hook works because it does not diagnose the reader. It does not say, you have this problem. It says, many people experience this pattern. That difference matters. Testimonials need permission. Do not use patient names, photos, screenshots, videos, stories, or health details in marketing unless you have proper written permission. And even with permission, be careful. A testimonial should not become an illegal guarantee. Bad: John had sciatica for 10 years. After our program, it disappeared forever. Better: John shared his personal experience after completing care. Individual experiences vary. Key takeaways. Chapter 18. Bold marketing and reckless marketing are different things. Compliance is not an excuse for boring. Promise process and education. Never medical outcomes. Meta flags personal feeling health claims. Use many people experience framing instead of you have this problem. All testimonials require written permission and must not imply guaranteed results. Section 5. The multiplication layer. Referrals, proof, and scaling. What works? Chapter 19. The referral illusion. Referrals are great. Referrals are proof. Referrals mean someone trusted you enough to send another human being into your clinic. That matters, but here is where clinic owners lie to themselves. They confuse referrals with a growth engine. They are not the same thing. A referral is a result. A growth engine is something you can control. If referrals come in this month, good. If they do not come in next month, what happens? Most clinics shrug and say, it's just a slow season. No, that is not a season. That is dependency. Referrals feel safe because they feel earned. This is why referrals are so dangerous. They feel pure, they feel organic, they feel like proof that the clinic is doing good work. But proof is not the same as predictability. A patient telling their friend about you is good. But if your entire clinic depends on patients remembering to tell friends about you, you are not operating a growth system. You are depending on human memory. And human memory is a terrible marketing department. People are busy, they forget. They mean well. They say, I'll definitely tell my husband. Then life happens. Dinner, kids, work, bills, Netflix, sleep. And your referral system disappears into the same black hole where gym memberships and unread email newsletters go to die. The question that exposes the illusion. Can you intentionally double your referrals next month? Not hope, not ask more patients, intentionally double. Can you wake up Monday and say, this month we are going from 10 referrals to 20, and here is the exact process that will make that happen? If the answer is no, referrals are not your growth engine, they are a bonus. A good bonus, but still a bonus. From referral hope to referral engineering. Gamblers wait for referrals. Operators create referral moments. The operator asks, when is the patient happiest? When does the patient first feel progress? When do they say, I wish I came here sooner? When do they mention their spouse, coworker, friend, or neighbor? Who on the team is responsible for capturing that moment? What script do we use? What asset makes sharing easy? How do we track it? The referral moment script. When to use. When a patient says something positive. Examples. I feel so much better. I wish I had started sooner. My wife should really try this. Why it works. It positions the referral as helping the next person, not as doing the clinic a favor. This removes awkwardness and replaces it with mission framing. Common mistakes: asking for referrals at checkout when the patient is rushing. The referral conversation belongs at moments of genuine positive emotion. Asking with, If you know anyone, that framing is too passive and vague. Script. That makes me really happy to hear. A lot of people wait too long before getting help because they do not know who to trust. If someone in your life is dealing with something similar, we would be grateful if you sent them this link so they can at least learn what options exist. No begging, no pressure, no awkward, send us people energy. You are framing the referral as an act of generosity toward the next patient. The share asset. Do not make patients explain your clinic from memory. They will forget half of it. Give them something simple to share. Workshop registration link. For example, send this to anyone dealing with back pain. Short educational video, around 60 to 90 seconds, clinic branded, posture checklist or sciatica guide, QR referral card, physical, in their hands before they leave. The goal, make sharing frictionless. If sharing requires effort, most patients will not do it, not because they do not like you, because they are human. The referral system formula, happy patient moment, plus simple script, plus easy share asset, plus tracking, equals referral system. Without those pieces, you have hope. Hope is not the house. Key takeaways. Chapter 19. Referrals are proof, not a growth engine. You cannot scale what you cannot control. The referral moment script frames sharing as an act of generosity, not a business favor. Give patients a simple share asset. Do not make them describe your clinic from memory. Track referrals. What you do not measure, you cannot improve. Chapter 20. Offer fatigue and how to refresh without starting over. Every offer gets tired, even a great one. That does not mean the offer is broken. It means the market has seen the angle too many times. Most clinic owners panic when this happens. Registrations drop, cost per lead rises, attendance weakens, engagement slows. Then they say, the seminar stopped working. No, the seminar did not stop working. The packaging got tired. Big difference. Inside Spine Empire, we teach this clearly. Do not abandon the system. Refresh the angle. The warning signs. Fewer seminar registrations from the same ad spend, higher cost per registration, lower show rate, people saying, I saw this already. Familiar faces who do not buy. Weaker quality of attendee. When those signs show up, do not change the machine. Refresh the angle first. The rule, rotate angles, not systems. The system is ad plus seminar plus education plus offer plus payment plus challenge plus backend. That does not need to change every month. What changes is the way the market first sees it. Seasonal angles. The New Year Spine Reset. 3 secrets to starting the year pain-free. The Summer Spine Workshop. 3 secrets for staying active without back pain. Back to school back pain solutions for busy parents. Demographic angles. 3 back pain secrets for desk workers. The Active Adult Spine Workshop. Back pain solutions for busy parents. Problem-specific angles. 3 secrets to sciatica relief. Why headaches may be connected to your spine. The Sleep and Back Pain Workshop. Same machine, different doorway. The 5 refresh assets. When performance drops, check these 5 things before touching the machine. 1. New hook. Old. Tired of back pain? Refreshed. What if your back pain is not actually a back problem? 2. New creative. If everyone has seen the same graphic 10 times, they stop seeing it. Use. Doctor face videos. Clinic exterior. Seminar room photos. Simple educational graphics. 3. New story. A recent patient story, carefully worded with permission, that makes the seminar feel current and real. 4. New urgency. Real operational urgency only. Example. Final workshop before the next challenge group starts. Not fake, not manufactured. 5. New format. Same content, different environment. Examples. Clinic workshop, community center, lunch and learn, corporate wellness session, the fatigue formula, same mechanism, plus fresh angle, plus specific audience, plus real urgency, equals campaign refresh. One proven mechanism. Multiple doors into it. Key takeaways. Chapter 20. Offer fatigue is not a system failure. It is a signal that the angle needs refreshing. The machine stays. The entrance rotates. 5 refresh levers. Hook, creative, story, urgency, format. Track quality of attendee, not just cost per lead. Cheap leads that do not buy are expensive. The Spine Empire Operator Checklist. Use this to find the next bottleneck, not to feel good about what is already working. Mark each item yes or no. If it is not consistently happening, it is a no. For audiobook listeners, this next section is organized by operational layers. Each layer contains checklist items. Attention layer. Checklist item 1. Clear patient acquisition offer exists, not free consultation. Checklist item 2. We know exactly which audience we target. Checklist item 3. Ads use specific pain patterns, not generic clinic language. Checklist item 4. We rotate hooks before the market goes numb. Checklist item 5. We track cost per registration. Checklist item 6. We know which campaigns produce quality buyers, not just cheap leads. Education layer. Checklist item 1. We educate before presenting the offer, every time. Checklist item 2. Our seminar creates clear belief shifts, not just interesting information. Checklist item 3. Patients understand why their problem keeps coming back. Checklist item 4. Patients understand why waiting has a cost. Checklist item 5. The seminar naturally leads into the offer. Conversion, layer, checklist. Item 1. We use a two-path close. Checklist item 2. We present the value stack before price. Checklist item 3. Every offer component has a dollar value. Checklist item 4. We use real scarcity based on actual capacity. Checklist item 5. We use risk reversal carefully, service guarantee, not outcome guarantee. Checklist item 6. We collect payment the same night. Checklist item 7. The first visit is scheduled before the patient leaves the room. Follow up. Layer. Checklist. Item 1. Every lead is contacted within 5 minutes. Checklist item 2. Every lead gets both a call and a text. Checklist item 3. Every no-show is recovered within 24 hours. Checklist item 4. Every non-buyer receives structured follow-up. Checklist item 5. Every open loop has a status. Checklist item 6. The team knows when to close the loop and stop following up. Front desk layer. Checklist item 1. The front desk has written scripts, not improvising. Checklist item 2. The front desk asks why every registrant signed up. Checklist item 3. Patient reasons are logged. Checklist item 4. The front desk confirms attendance, not just books it. Checklist item 5. The front desk handles common objections with confidence. Checklist item 6. The front desk understands they are conversion infrastructure, not just scheduling. Onboarding layer. Checklist item 1. Every buyer gets a welcome message the same night. Checklist item 2. Every buyer has visits scheduled before leaving the room. Checklist item 3. Every buyer understands expectations and attendance requirements. Checklist item 4. Every buyer understands the refund terms. Checklist item 5. Progress tracking begins at the first visit. Continuation layer. Checklist item 1. Patient progress is tracked throughout the challenge. Checklist item 2. The graduation conversation is planned, not improvised. Checklist item 3. Deposit credit is explained clearly at graduation. Checklist item 4. The backend offer feels like a clinical recommendation, not a surprise upsell. Checklist item 5. A two-path close is used at graduation. Multiplication layer. Checklist item 1. Happy patients are asked for honest reviews at the right moment. Checklist item 2. Referral moments are identified and scripted. Checklist item 3. An easy share asset exists. Examples include a link, a card, or a video. Checklist item 4. Testimonials require written permission. Checklist item 5. Referrals are tracked. Scoring. For audiobook listeners, this next section is a scoring scale based on total yes answers. 0 to 15 yes answers. Scattered effort. No system. 16 to 30. Yes answers. Pieces exist. The machine depends too much on memory. 31 to 45 yes answers. Structure is in place. Tighten the leaks. 46 or more yes answers. You are building the house. Now scale carefully. Want a printable version of this checklist? Download the full Spine Empire Operator checklist, formatted for printing and team review, at spineempire.com/checklist-vault. Spine Empire resource. Operator checklist. Scan the code. If the checklist showed you gaps and you are not sure where to start, I will sit with you for 20 minutes and we will find the one leak costing you the most right now. No agenda, no pitch. Just a clear look at your specific numbers and what fixing them is worth. That is my offer to anyone who reads this book. spineempire.com/audit. Spine Empire resource. Revenue leak audit. Scan the code. The final word, stop gambling. Build the house. This entire book has been about one thing, control. Not control over patients, not control over outcomes you cannot ethically promise, control over your business machine. Most clinic owners are not failing from lack of care. They care deeply. That is not the problem. They are failing because they are playing a game with no system. They depend on referrals. They depend on insurance. They depend on slow agencies. They depend on random ads. They depend on front desk memory. They depend on patients remembering. They depend on good months. That is gambling. And gambling feels fine when you are winning. A few referrals come in. A campaign works once. A patient says yes. A good month happens. Then the owner thinks, maybe we are okay. Then the next month exposes the truth. The schedule softens, the leads ghost, the staff gets sloppy, the ads fatigue, the show rate drops, the backend does not convert, the owner gets stressed. That is what happens when the system is not built. The house thinks differently. The house does not ask, how do we get lucky this month? The house asks, Which layer is leaking? The house does not ask, do we need more leads? The house asks, are we wasting the leads we already have? The house does not ask, why are patients not buying? The house asks, did we build enough belief before presenting price? The house does not ask, why is Sarah not following up? The house asks, did we give Sarah a script, a sequence, a dashboard, and accountability? Gamblers blame. Operators diagnose. The final blueprint. For audiobook listeners, this next section is a 5-layer blueprint. Attention. Make the right people notice you, not everyone. The right people. Education. Make them understand the problem better than they did before. Confusion delays, clarity moves, conversion. Give them a clear next step, value before price. 2 paths, same night payment, fulfillment. Deliver cleanly, schedule fast, onboard clearly, track progress, protect confidence, multiplication. Turn happy patients into proof, reviews, referrals, testimonials, community trust, the final self-audit. Attention, can your clinic create patient flow without waiting for referrals? Education, do prospects understand why your approach matters before they hear the price? Conversion, do you have a clear offer, value stack, risk reversal, and 2-path close? Follow-up, does every lead get contacted, confirmed, reminded, and recovered properly? Onboarding, does every buyer feel guided within 24 hours of payment? Continuation, is the back-end conversation the logical next step, or does it surprise the patient? Multiplication, do happy patients reliably create reviews, referrals, and proof? If you cannot answer yes, you found the work. Do not get emotional about it. Fix the machine. What Spine Empire exists to do. This is why Spine Empire exists, not to sell you. Marketing. The world has enough marketing agencies. Most of them sell leads and leave you to figure out the rest. That is not enough. Leads without conversion are noise. Conversion without fulfillment creates refund risk. Fulfillment without continuation leaves money on the table. Happy patients without proof systems waste trust. Spine Empire exists to help chiropractic clinic owners install the full operating system, the educational acquisition model, the seminar framework, the ad angles, the scripts, the value stack, the follow-up, the front desk conversion layer, the onboarding system, the back-end continuation path, and the operator thinking that makes all of it sustainable. Because the clinic owner does not need more theory. The clinic owner needs the machine. You can keep gambling. You can keep hoping referrals stay strong. You can keep blaming the market. You can keep asking agencies for more leads. You can keep telling yourself the next campaign will fix it, or you can build the house. The house is not built in one day, but it is built one system at a time. One script, one checklist, one offer, one follow-up sequence, one seminar, one dashboard, one trained team member, one fixed leak. That is how control is created. Not through hope, through architecture. And once you understand that, the game changes permanently. Every slow month is not a mystery, it is a diagnostic. Every missed sale is not personal, it is feedback. Every no-show is not just annoying, it is a system leak. Every, I need to think about it, is not just indecision, it is proof that certainty was not built strongly enough. That is how operators think. Stop gambling, build the machine, build the house. The house blueprint, same page you read at the start. Read it again. It means something different now. The leak is always in one of those 5 layers. Find it, fix it. That is the whole game. For audiobook listeners, this next section is a table. The table has 4 columns: layer, what it does, key tools, and North Star metric. Row 1, layer, attention, what it does, creates controlled patient flow from the right people with the right problem. Key tools, meta ads, seminar hooks, local partnerships, educational content. North Star metric, cost per qualified registration. Row 2, layer, education. What it does, turns attention into belief before price is mentioned. Key tools, 45-minute seminar structure, belief shift sequence, pain pattern teaching, North Star metric, seminar show rate. Row 3, layer, conversion. What it does, turns belief into committed cash, the same night. Key tools, 2-path close, value stack, risk reversal, real scarcity, North Star metric, close rate and cash collected. Row 4, layer, follow-up and operations. What it does, protects every lead you paid for from registration through graduation. Key tools, speed to lead, follow-up sequences, front desk scripts, onboarding system, North Star metric, show rate and no-show recovery rate. Row 5, layer, multiplication. What it does, turns happy patients into proof that creates more patients. Key tools, referral moments, review requests, share assets, testimonial system, North Star metric, referrals and reviews per month, end of table. A final word, if you made it here, thank you. Not because reading makes you right, because reading gives you language, implementation gives you control. That is the whole point. If this book helped you see your clinic's machine more clearly, where it is working, where it is leaking, Leave an honest review, not for ego, for the next clinic owner sitting where you were before this, skeptical, frustrated, tired of vague marketing advice, tired of being sold more leads, tired of growth feeling random. Your honest review helps them find the right message faster. If you started with book 1, Become the House, and it changed how you see the game, leave a review there too. That is where most clinic owners will find it first. Review Book 1, Become the House, Spine Empire Resource. Review Book 1, Scan the Code. Review this book, The Implementation Vault, Spine Empire Resource. Review Book 2, Scan the Code. One last thing. If you read this and you know something is leaking but you cannot see exactly where, reach out. I will personally look at your clinic with you. 20 minutes. Your numbers. No sell. Just clarity. Consider it a thank you for reading. SpineEmpire.com/audit. Spine Empire Resource. Revenue. Leak Audit. Scan the code. Now go build the house. The Implementation Vault. Copyright Spine Empire. Grand Digital Commerce. LLC. All rights reserved.